Hey everybody, it's Pete Toll, aka PT Sports 84. Just wanted to go over today's roster update for NBA 2K23. Today is September the 12th, 2022. Um, and or 2022. I don't know why I said 2000. Anyway, um, there was an update, just a small one today to the current roster. I kind of looked around to see if there was many changes to the um, like the NBA eras or the classic teams, things like that. No updates there. And just want to clarify to everybody that those probably will come in smaller batches, those retro updates, because that's a totally different dev that's in charge of those. And so I guess they have to get the permission, from that dev or the timing for that dev to fix it, and then go through and change those. So for the time being, I think a lot of the updates that are coming through, when you see that update message, please back to the main menu and all that stuff that pops up if you're playing earlier in the day, those have to do with the current rosters. But anyway, let's dive in to the roster update. Like I said, it's a smaller one in some aspects for shoe people. There's hey Terrence, morning you can't add players on the two-way through having a custom roster. Yeah, I noticed that. That's a bug. Hey Carrie, what's up, man? That's a bug that you can't do the Euro stash, and you also can't do the two-way contract. Like if a player's on a core contract, you can't toggle through that menu. That is a bug. I've already sent that along. I've already done a 2K support ticket as well. And just so real quick before I dive into the roster update, especially with bugs like that, when you see like the menu that's not toggling through, like the core contract is not toggling through for players, or if they're on a two-way, you can't toggle it to core or Eurostash. Those are bugs. Those the more people that can send those screenshots along with a step-by-step showing how you got there. So like basically going into create a roster, modern era, click on a player, go into contract, like list all those steps. Send that to 2K support, open up a ticket. The more of us that open up tickets, the support team will see that it's a priority and they will get that handled fast. Otherwise, it just sits and lingers, and it's one that'll get thrown in as like a throwaway in a patch that might get fixed 6 months from now. Whereas if 50 to 100 people start throwing in those support tickets for those kind of items or any items, then that shows that team that, hey, we need to go ahead and fix this. It's a top priority for the next patch. Still might take you a month to get it in, but it can be a lot quicker than if you just let it sit and just post it on Twitter tagging devs. The devs on Twitter could make them aware, but that's not going to do anything for the dev particularly, because they don't maybe work in that area. That might be an engineer that has to fix that. So that engineer has to go in and they see a priority list of, okay, here's the 5 things I've got to fix. I've got to fix these really quick. The also key is the faster the better, because 2K will be diving into 2K24 before too long, and the support gets less and less for 2K23. So please submit those support tickets. Make sure you get a ticket number as well. Sometimes you get these dumb generated messages that come back and say, hey, did you clear your cache, and did you reboot your thing? Ignore all those, and reiterate to the person responding, I've done all those things. Here's the clear-cut description with a video or screenshots. Here's a step-by-step tutorial how to replicate the bug, because if you don't put how to replicate it and how you got there, then 2K can't do it, and they're not going to take the time to figure that out. They want to go off the list of the step-by-step from each person that's pretty much consistently saying the same thing and go off of that. Anyway, on to the roster update. So I'll dive in first. Some players were added to teams for like training camp. So we've got Jake Layman, Denzel Valentine, and Justin Jackson added to the Celtics. Nothing major there. We've got Jarrett Culver on a two-way contract to the Atlanta Hawks. That went official yesterday. Still missing Tyrese Martin from the roster. He's going to make the team, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe because it's a multi-year contract, but it's not fully guaranteed. That could be a possibility of why he's not added. Go over to still missing Konchar's portrait. That was on the feedback list. Two players got added this morning. Darian Sebrin on a two-way contract and Isaiah Brockington on a two-way contract. Brockington's got the ACL injury. He suffered actually in the workout with the Pelicans. And so he probably won't play for most of the year, but if he does, it'll be in the G League. What's interesting to note here is EJ Liddell, who also tore his ACL, who was their second, basically, their more or less second rounder. He might have been undrafted. I can't remember. And signed. I think he might have been undrafted and signed. Anyway, they were high on him. He was going to get the other one of the two ways. Obviously, he's out for a while. They may still sign him, but I don't really foresee a way to do that unless they trade somebody here. But like I said, pretty simple update as far as the rosters go in this area. Jumping over to real quick. So we've got, Oklahoma City. John Butler would be a good choice. He's in training camp on Exhibit 10, but they're probably, what they'll do is they will take Butler and then put him for the G League for the Birmingham Squadron. Then they could decide how Sebrin or the rehab of Brockington's going. Once you get to January, that's usually when you kind of see teams jump around dropping guys off of two ways and adding guys off of two ways. Couple coaches they updated the faces for that actually they have faces for. Chip England got his actual face scan back in, and then Ron Adams for Golden State got his as well. Yes, that is the same Mike Williams. Where'd he go on the Spurs? That's the same Mike Williams that's on the 0405 Spurs. The only thing is, so the Kerry, I'm not sure about the All-Star changes through the eras. I haven't tried that yet. The only thing, when they do these coaches, there's a license for the coaching staffs, and then there's a separate license for the retired players. So if you get the license for the coaching staffs, they could pretty much put in any coach's names and legally have rights to that. That's a whole different association. It's like a players association, but the coaches have one themselves. So they're able to have the rights to that. That's why you see Darius Singaila right here, but you don't have him on the 0607 Wizards because he'd have to agree to a retired player agreement that's separate. It's all kind of logistical, things that they have to do. And, it's just how it is legally. Tico Stacori, thanks. No problem, man. Anything I could do to help you. My DMs are always open for you. So, hit me up if you got any questions or anything. I'd be glad to help you as always. So, once we get to those patches and stuff like that, I think we'll connect a little bit more because I know that's your area of expertise. So, anything I could do to help, I'd be glad to. I went over in a short video yesterday. It was late at night, so I was like super tired, but I figured I'd throw it up there just to get it out. You can edit edit coaches. I'll just highlight that real quick since I've got people live. Might make it a little easier. Still, please, if you don't mind, like the video, even if you don't watch it. Like, that helps me. The other separate video, you'll see it on my channel. Just hit the like button. That's all you got to do. But any of these coaches that have these generic white, like, generic guys for the G League, they look like this. There's 12 of them total that I counted. There might be more if I scroll through and take out some scouts and stuff like that, but I didn't really play around with those. I know for a fact that the 12 coaches that look like this on the G League teams, you can edit. You hit appearance. Here it opens up a new couple of tabs, male and female. Preset, which is picking any of these heads, that are pre-selected. Now you can do customizable. And customizable, you hit the X button on PS5, and then you can change it just like the cap feature. Very easy, pretty cool to get some of the retro coaches. You're probably going to have a hard time getting somebody that's old, like older and stuff like that. But I think that a lot of experienced cap makers could probably get them close. I am not a good cap maker, so I always rely on everybody else. Yeah, that's a hilarious name. I don't know why they do those. All the other things are the same. The attributes, badges, contracts, and team styles, pretty much all the same. Going over to the players, there's a lot of shoe brand updates. So players sometimes are locked into shoe brands. There's literally like 80 players they fixed today between changing their shoes if they were already in the same brand or unlocking the brand. I will, in the description of this video, I will actually post who changed because it's going to, like 80 players is going to take me forever to go through this video. And honestly, I just don't have the time today because I've got something going on in about an hour and a half, and so I just won't have time to dive into that. But I will post it in the description, the list, so everybody can see it, or I might just throw it up on Twitter and show like the list like kind of all at once, so people can go through. There's a couple things that I would like to see changed as far as changes as far as errors and stuff like that. Like, eventually, I'd like to see Tyrese Martin added, Simonovic for Sacramento added. Those would be cool. I did miss one player here. In the Orlando Magic, they signed Joel Ayayi yesterday, so he's in on a training camp deal. These are cool because the training camp deal, it allows you to add more players that we can't do on our end. So if 2K goes ahead and adds them, it allows you to play the play now mode with the extra players. It doesn't work for when you go into the MyNBA and stuff like that, but as far as like just for like the play now mode, it's good. And then we don't have to worry about it. One thing that I do like this year that 2K is doing, they're adding the updated players instead of waiting until opening night. So once a player goes official on a contract, two-way or a guarantee, they're adding them in quickly. So if you end up seeing Quinn Cook or Matthew Dellavedova winning a job in Sacramento, they'll be added in pretty quick rather than waiting a month, over a month like we had to previously, which was frustrating. But I understand why they did it, but it was a little frustrating to say the least. But overall, that's pretty much it for this update. As far as, like I said, it was going to be light on the update. We did get one position change, and that's because if you watched the video yesterday, I did a simulation of my NBA, the era for modern NBA, and Trae Young kept popping up as the sixth man. So they did change out DeJounte Murray to the shooting guard position. No other positions got changed. I think those will happen on the opening night roster. Those normally will then, because then we're able to get through training camp, figure out how the lineups are going to be, even though some of them we already know, like Jalen Brunson 1,000% should be the point guard, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, we can manually change them right now, but as far as like a my career or anything like that. Another one that I noticed potential issues with is Kawhi Leonard and Paul George right here, because now Paul George kind of backs up Kawhi Leonard because Norman Powell will start. So they would have to update one of those two, however it is. And right now, it's been speculated that Kawhi could start at small forward, but he could also shift to power forward. And then also with Paul George at the 2 or the 3. So I'm not even 100% sure. I think it's going to be Paul George at the 2, Kawhi at the 3, but I mean, I don't know for sure. Yeah, they have the non-starter, but they don't use it that much. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Honestly, there's a few things that I wonder sometimes about, but you know, there's probably good reason in some area of why that's the way it is. But hope you guys got something out of this video. I'm not gonna be able to do it now, but tonight I'm gonna do another stream of the or simulation of the My NBA era. I may stream it if I have time. I'm not sure. Just all depends. Evening time's not that good again. You're welcome, YGB. I try to do these as often as I can. I'm fortunate enough that I get to work from home, and so I do have little pockets of time here and there when I don't have other things going on. But you know, it's not going to be every day, and it's not going to be all the time. I might miss some updates, things like that, but I try to get to the major stuff as fast as I can to keep these consistent, just so everybody kind of knows what's going on. Because I know last year I saw a lot of people, what was in the update today? And like nobody would answer because either somebody didn't know or it was just stuff that nobody really noticed. But yeah, I want to do another My NBA stream for the current modern NBA because I want to see if Luka Doncic still averages like close to 40 points a game or not, if that was tweaked, and then if the Pelicans still end up as NBA champions consistently, because that should have been tweaked as well. I try to give feedback, you know, as much as I can. There's a ton of feedback I gave for the classic and draft classes and stuff like that. Stay patient. Those will get in. You know, feedback always usually gets in. It's just a matter of if the devs working on that will eventually get to it. Because obviously they have other things going on. They can't break away and say, hey, I'll just fix this every single day. It's just not how that works in the development cycle. AK-47, Andre Karolinko. I wonder, even though he's added to my team back in, I wonder if something's going on with that. Either they lost his rights, gained it back pretty fast, and he'll eventually get added. It's just a matter of that particular dev, cleaning up the classic all-time and NBA eras rosters, which hopefully they do. If we can get enough people support behind that, hopefully we can get a roster update a little bit down the line. Maybe not right now because I want to give everybody a chance to go through and find errors, things like that, so we can get as much fixed as possible. But maybe in a month or two, I think that's a fair amount of time, you know, to get those in. Maybe sooner for some of the players like Pau Gasol, like Kirilenko if he's available, things like that. Those guys that are already in, but guys that they have to add from scratch or whatever might take a little bit longer, necessarily for like the draft classes and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not inside 2K, so I don't know exactly how that timing works. But you know, I keep giving the feedback, so just know that it's getting passed along correctly. My DMs are always open. It's at Pete Toll, PETETOAL on Twitter. If you find something that's wrong, don't just speculate it. Like know 100% it's wrong. Like a player is completely missing from a roster. Remember, the Eras roster is opening night rosters, so anything past opening night's probably not going to get changed. And then the classic teams are end of season rosters. So just remember that when giving feedback, if you find a missing player, anything bug wise or that's not right, you can get it to me and I'll get it in the right hands as well. But again, appreciate everybody for watching it. Please, please, please give a thumbs up on the video. You can leave feedback and comments in the comment section. I always check it. Try to write back as much as I can within reason. And then if you haven't already, subscribe. If you don't mind, I know this is probably asking a lot for some people. If you guys have social media, if you don't mind tweeting something out, or if you're on Facebook or something, like let people know about the channel. That way I can get more eyes on it. The more people that are watching it, the more likely that some of the info is taken serious and the feedback is warranted and it's changed maybe quicker. I can't guarantee that, but at least it helps, just to be more known. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in this morning. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a long stream. That's pretty much it that was updated today. Appreciate it. And if there's another update tomorrow, I'll have another video. But I don't know, it just all depends on the retro stuff when that's updated, because that's most of the feedback left. So thanks again, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one.